Hello, Mr. Comtings Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development for today's systems only. The investment we're going to talk today will be ETH. This is my second posting of today. Respect to recording time of 1:47 p.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum coin trading $4,578, down about 1.08% so far. On the overall crypto market and the equity market, I would say it's kind of a mixed bag today. On the equity side, it's kind of just leaning more towards a flat to more of a bearish sentiment across investors. While at the same time, crypto, it seems like it's experiencing, more of a mixed bag again, but with some, propensity leaning towards the more of a bearish sentiment as well. With selective coins like Solana and obviously Shiba Inu that we see prominently up about close to 2% so far. Shiba Inu's experiencing a little bit more higher buying pressure, up about 3% so far. And the mixture that we're seeing is really stemmed from the major macro catalyst that we are expecting today from Joe Biden, the president of the United States, to be signing the bipartisan infrastructure bill into law today on Monday. So just to give you guys a high-level overview of what that is, right? So President Biden will sign the $1.2 trillion of a bipartisan infrastructure bill, and it's going to be signed today after the long congressional and legislative approval from all members of the party. And what this legislation really means is that it's going to include a tax reporting provision that applies to digital assets like cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens like the NFTs or, the cultivations and commercialization that we've been seeing on the media front with respect to NFTs. And the cryptocurrencies brokers, which are mainly the exchanges that we see, will be required to issue a form that is called 1099 to disclose who are the customers, and businesses and exchange platforms will also be required to report each time they receive over $10,000 in cryptocurrencies. And with respect to the, there's been debate going on between the lobbyists within the cryptocurrencies community, right? And many of them believe that more clarity in the definition of broker is needed. And they also argue that requiring a disclosure of transaction over $10,000 can be unconstitutional, knowing the fact that the basis of crypto assets is to be decentralized, right? To have that freedom, that transparency of financial freedom, which is the core catalyst or the, how would you say, the inception of the cultivation of crypto assets, right? So ultimately, it is going to be in law, despite their debates or whichever side you believe. That are you pro this bipartisan infrastructure bill or are you not? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but the time is now for that to be executed today. And it seems like based on the investment sentiments across the ecosystem is leaning more towards a negative side of the spectrum for obvious reasons, right? Because now you have to be, disclosing that in an accounting and audit perspective for anything over $10,000, despite, again, right, what they call unconstitutional or inefficient, and, it's driving some, I would say, pseudo fear-mongering among investors. For it's not, I'm not saying like there's anything fishy going on, that's why people are selling off, but whenever you hear anything that it's along the line with respect to regulatory infrastructure or enforcement restrictions, etc., you always see some sort of a sell-off, coming from all, both from the institutional investors but also from the public investors like you and I, right? And then the other news that I also see is on CNBC. They also remind us like what's been going on beside this law that's being passed. And just to go through them one by one, right? Some of the macro news that we've been hearing so far. So the first one is on with respect to Robinhood, right? They have a data breach involved about 7 million customers, right? And this data breach happened on November 3rd. And with respect to the information that they have leaked, it includes things like email address, zip code, but it doesn't really, it doesn't leak anything with respect to like social security numbers or bank account or debit card or credit card numbers were exposed. It was just mainly email accounts. But I do know that some selective accounts, like 10 customers, had more of an extensive account data breach, which leaks into the social security number, the bank account, and to their debit card leaked. So definitely not something we appreciate. Definitely something that they need to step up on the compliance protection from that, right? And the other one that we already talked about a couple of days ago is with respect to Ripple or XRP to launch crypto services for financial companies. And with their offering, they're also going to extend that over to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoins, and Ethereum Classic. And also, obviously, Bitcoin Cash and XRP onto their liquidity hub feature on Ripple. The next macro news that we also heard a couple of days ago is with respect to Tim Cook, which is the CEO of Apple Computer, or Apple Technology, if you may. He says that he personally owns some cryptocurrencies. He owns both Ethereum and Bitcoin, but he doesn't really say much about how much he's holding or how long he's been invested in. He said he's been investing for a while, but he doesn't really quantify like the specificity around that. The next one's really on Coinbase. With respect to Coinbase shares dropped after the third quarter revenue miss, right? It sank by, I think the stock was down about 13% in the extended trading hours. So definitely, I would say it's more of a normalization because the technical was really stretched up because of the overall crypto market has been stretched up. So for Coinbase to be dropping, it was just an opportune time for people to take profit. But obviously, missing revenue was like the catalyst on driving the sell-off from there or the correction from there, right? And the next one on CNBC again is with respect to a major upgrade to Bitcoin Activated, right? So this is talking about the taproot that we've been talking about for quite some time now. So now it's been activated, obviously drives some buying pressure, which allow and incentivize public investors to be chasing it all the way to close to 70K, right? We got to like the 69,500 as the all-time high so far. So it seems like we're normalizing from here. And that's pretty much it on the news front, right? So we do have a collections of relatively sizable macro-driven news. But the Biden bipartisan infrastructure bill is the main catalyst on driving the market today, right? So let's just dive right straight into the technicals now. So with respect to Ethereum right now is down about 1%. We are still in the bearish state, right? We're still selling off, right? And I think this is a good thing because we are slowly depleting. We were at like somewhere around like 62 earlier today, and now we're at 58, right? So as we deplete further, it will become more and more opportune time for us to incur more risk, right? Right now it's still a little bit high. So I think more of an adjusted level as we come back to below, close to 40 or 35, will be more ideal for us to dollar cost average at, right? Bitcoin right now is same momentum with the 54, so it's a little bit more oversold in comparisons to Ethereum, but we're still at the normalized level, not really overbought or oversold right now. So I believe, just wait until we come back down to ideally first level, right? 52, ideally 47, and possibly even 44 if we see some more of a correction from here. But I think first level that will ideally consolidate first would be somewhere around like 60K, which we've been struggling around for quite some time now. So the perfect world will be just keep stretching out, stay above the 60K from here, but we'll see how that goes. Dogecoin right now is at down 2.06%. Right now it's trading at 26 cents, basically. So right now it's still in a bearish state with the 48 out of 70. So it's a little bit better. So ideally maybe buy until we at like somewhere around like the 23 all the way to the 19 cents from here. Cardano right now is slowly forming a death cross, so ideally buy at the 201, which is not bad idea. I think we are close to it, almost there. And I think it's logical to buy somewhere around like the 182 all the way to the 198 from that level from here. Solana right now is still is trying to revive, right? You see that it try to slow down and try to form that negative apex, if you may, with the 60 out of 70, so still overbought, right? So ideally buy somewhere around like the lower level. I think ideally first level would be somewhere around like the 156 because we do have some consolidation, but I think I ideally just buy the, again, 131 to 113 from here. XRP right now up about 0.17%. We form a def cross, so ideally buy at the 110. If we break 110, we're going to go to 101 from here, the 53 out of 70. Polkadot right now, we are still selling off at the 47 out of 70. So ideally selling back down to the 42.72 as the first level. But if we break that, we have a long way to go to back to the 30, like the 32 all the way to the 25 from here. Algorand right now we're slowly forming a def cross, so ideally buy somewhere around like the 160 to 152. Shiba Inu right now it's wait until we come back to the 250 to the 900 from here for Shiba Inu. So respect to risk management level again, right? These are as we deplete back to the RSI of below 35, as we deplete back to a more of a risk averse level, right? I think right now it's not the most favorable in terms of like the reward versus risk ratio. So I think practicing patient right now would be the best logical thing to do. And feel free to take a snapshot of this picture, and a lot of volatility going on today. And I think today might be a dip, on selective equity and selective coins as well. I would say across the spectrum, I would say it's still like majority of the crypto assets are still overbought. So I'll probably just weigh off a little bit, right? It's either like still like more of a moderate level of overbought to like a neutral level. So not really anything in depleted mode all the way to a discount level of below to close to oversold right now, right? So I would probably weigh off and hold on, and reserve your cash for now for a better dip later. So really appreciate you on this Monday morning. Hope you guys also had a great weekend, by the way. And really appreciate you if you give me a shout if you have any questions. And stay tuned for some help. Take care. Bye.